I live my life like a top fuel dragster. Always trying to go 350 mile an hour. But every once in a while, I will break and need rebuild.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode is brought to you by R&R Pipeline, an infrastructure company. Our purpose? Enhancing America's infrastructure with a safety-driven, integrity-led culture that provides an environment for team members to grow and thrive. Do you have a good relationship with food? This is such a powerful, powerful thought. Majority of us look at food as a treat, as something to be fulfilling as far as taste that could provide some sort of happiness for whatever reason. And there's a time and place, sure, for enjoyment or for celebration. But I also want to throw this at you. So think about it from a different way. What about the fact that we celebrate events or parties, or we celebrate with poison? We celebrate birthdays with cake. We celebrate accomplishments with booze. Oftentimes celebration is done by poison. So we link accomplishments to unhealthy habits and unhealthy things. Now in moderation, booze, cake, all the things. I had cake yesterday, sure, whatever. Every once in a while, moderation's fine. But do not look at food as a treat for success or accomplishment. Don't go out and celebrate an accomplishment by getting shit hammered. Look at the things as something that you enjoy to do, you can live without, but you might have every once in a while and it doesn't affect you at all. And I think the bigger picture of this is that relationship to food. What is your relationship to food? Now, what does that mean? So, how do you evaluate the food that you put in your body? If you had to grade yourself on what you put in your mouth and swallowed, is it fueling your $1 million racehorse? Or is it putting enough in you to have some sort of happiness because of an external thing or an internal thing as far as the taste? So I'm a steak and rice, potato kind of person. I eat red meat, obviously heavy on the protein, but I eat that because it makes me feel good, because it fuels my body the way that I need to have the output that I need. I could do with or without pizza or birthday cake or cookies or any of that. I'll enjoy them every once in a while, just like the next person. Understanding though that what I feel like afterward more than likely isn't going to be good. Eat like shit, feel like shit. I have never met someone who accidentally got fat, whether it's something that was intentional or unintentional. You know better when you put that spoon in your mouth what you're doing to yourself. So if you're going to Jimmy John's every day and eating Dairy Queen every day, 2-3 times a day, and you got high blood pressure and your health is poor, what the hell did you expect? You can't be mad at anybody but yourself. It's no one's fault that you got fat but your own. No one is holding you down on the ground, force feeding you and forcing you to eat something you didn't want to. No one has ever eaten anything they didn't want to. Now, understanding that it's on us eliminates a victim mentality. And if it doesn't eliminate a victim mentality and you still think that it's somebody else's fault, then check yourself, because you're wrong. Being unable to take responsibility for what you've done is probably the single greatest failure criteria that you could ever have. If you want to not succeed in life, start blaming everybody else for your problems. I guarantee that will be the path you go down. Once you assume responsibility for what's happened and what you've done, then you realize that, oh shit, I'm fat because I ate too much. It's not that hard to say it. If you're not where you want to be at, it's on you. It's your fault. Check your relationship to food. If it's a crutch, why is it a crutch? What is the mental holdup that you can't get past? What is the barrier in your life that's weighing you down? Your relationship to food is extremely, incredibly powerful. And it can go as far as unhealthy and as far as healthy. I used to have a poor relationship with food to some degree because of my obsessive nature. I used to count my macros religiously, and I would be so dialed in that a few hundred calories north or south of that target goal daily would stress me out. I was so fortunate to have taken that 4 or 5 years time frame though, and really be able to evaluate and understand food at a high level. What makes me feel good, what makes me not feel good. And then I started having issues, gut issues, and I went and got food allergy testing done, and voila, I have serious allergies, like 15 of them. And when I realized that I had food allergies, I quit eating them foods. I changed everything. I mean, my life was so different because I felt so much better. I didn't realize that I had gut inflammation so bad that I couldn't even contract my core. I didn't realize that I was spending so much time being unproductive because of how I felt. Your relationship to food is everything as far as your output and your ability to have quality output. So if you're struggling to get what you want and you're struggling to feel good and you think you're doing all these things, get back to the basics, because the first thing that you should check is your nutrition. Macros in, macros out, calories in, calories out is most definitely the driving force for weight gain or weight loss. So the macro will most definitely drive that either way. Ask Lane Norton, the science is undeniable. But the micro will dictate a lot of the smaller things, the micro things, like how does your skin feel? How do you look? How do you feel? Are you able to lose body fat? Are you able to perform? Are you sleeping good? There's so many other variables on the nutrition scale on the micro level. Starting with the macro though, calories in, calories out, hit your targets on each one. The number one tip for me would be enough protein. Enough protein. If you simply eat protein first, prioritize your protein and your veggies. If you do that first before you eat anything else, more than likely, you'll have a lot better relationship to food and a lot better control. What does your relationship to food look like? Because it dictates everything else in life that you do. I promise, if you get your relationship to food in check, everything else will become more clear and much easier. So, relationship to food, is it good or is it bad?